We already know it, don't we? Somewhere deep inside, under all the noise of our thoughts, under the layers of performance and sheer exhaustion, we know we are worthy. We've read it in books, we've heard it in podcasts. We've even said the words aloud to ourselves in the mirror, and still, there are days when that truth just won't land. We wake up with that familiar tension in our chest. We scroll through our phones, and the measuring begins. We compare our lives, our bodies, our progress. We whisper to ourselves, why can't I feel it yet? We are the women who know better, but still ache anyway. We read the ones who can teach self-love to others, but forget the lesson in the quiet moments of our own lives. We hold so much wisdom in our minds, and yet so much doubt in our bodies. But here's the secret. Your worth isn't a mystery you need to solve. It's a reality you need to inhabit. And to do that, we first have to understand why we lost the feeling in the first place. For years, so many of us have lived from the neck up. We've learned to analyze everything, our successes, our pain, our personal growth. We've become fluent in the language of self-awareness. We can name our attachment styles, our coping mechanisms, our toxic patterns. We can describe self-worth like we're writing a thesis on it, yet still feel so small in our own lives. Why? Because knowing is not the same as feeling safe. Your mind can know a truth long before your body dares to believe it. And so we get stuck in this in-between space, aware but unanchored, conscious but still afraid. We tell ourselves, I know I matter, while our stomach tightens at every unanswered text. We affirm, I am enough, while our breath gets shallow every time someone pulls away. This happens because our nervous systems still think that love is a reward for good behavior, not a safe resting place. Our bodies still equate stillness with danger. So even as we speak our truths, our very cells are whispering old survival prayers. Stay good, stay pleasing, stay invisible. It's safer that way. This is why the feeling of worth can't stick around. It slips through the cracks because our bodies, our nervous systems, haven't learned how to hold it yet. The problem was never a lack of faith in your worth. It was a lack of felt safety. We were taught to earn love, not simply receive it. We were taught to behave for belonging, not just breathe and exist in it. And when you live like that for long enough, knowing your worth feels like speaking a language your body doesn't understand. Every woman carries a hidden map of her earliest lessons about value. Maybe for you, love only arrived after you got a perfect report card. Maybe affection only came after a period of compliant silence. Maybe attention felt like intense pressure, not comfort. Your body, being brilliant and adaptive, memorized those terms and conditions. It built an inner rule book: to be loved, be perfect. To be safe, don't take up too much space. To be accepted, anticipate everyone else's needs before your own. Those rules once kept you safe. They helped you navigate a world that often praises compliance more than authenticity. But now, those same rules are keeping you from the very peace you're searching for. We say we want freedom, but our bodies still brace for impact. We say we want intimacy, but our breath catches just short of a full, deep exhale. We say we trust in a higher power, yet our shoulders are permanently hiked up around our ears. Because trust cannot grow where safety has not been felt. Your worth was never withdrawn from you. But when love first felt conditional, we learned to protect ourselves from it. And that protection became a suit of armor we now mistake for our personality. It's the part of us that laughs a little too quickly, apologizes way too often, or plans everything 5 steps ahead. It's the part that says, I'm fine, when what we really mean is, I'm terrified to need anything from anyone. You see, we did not lose our worth. We lost access to it. And to regain that access, we must meet that protective part of ourselves with compassion, not judgment. We must gently teach our bodies that it is finally safe to feel what has always been true. So how do we reconnect? It begins quietly. Not through more doing, more striving, but through presence. We just sit. We breathe, we notice. You can place a hand over your heart and whisper, I am here. Sometimes nothing happens, and that's okay. Sometimes tears come, and that's okay too. Sometimes the silence feels unbearable. That's the sound of old walls beginning to soften. We have to remind ourselves over and over, we are safe enough now to feel our worth. We are safe enough to rest. We are safe enough to be seen. Your body will test this new truth. It will tighten, tremble, and resist. It's not trying to sabotage you, it's asking for evidence. So we give it gentle proof. We slow our pace. We speak to ourselves as we would to a beloved child who has been carrying far too much for far too long. We feed ourselves with kindness. We breathe until our breath starts to feel like home. Worth isn't summoned through force. It's remembered through repetition. Every calm breath becomes a declaration. I am not in danger simply for existing. This is where the divine meets us, not in our perfection, but in our permission. In every moment we choose presence over performance, we open a window for that grace to remind us who we've always been. As we build this internal safety, the knowing begins its journey from the mind down into the body. You'll start noticing small changes. You speak a little slower. You pause and check in with yourself before saying yes to something. You rest without feeling the need to apologize for it. You stop over-explaining your boundaries. These are not acts of rebellion, they are acts of remembrance. You no longer have to chase confidence because confidence starts to grow naturally from this alignment. When what you know and what you feel finally match up, peace arrives uninvited. It becomes the atmosphere you live in, not the goal you're constantly chasing. In daily life, this integration looks like this. You wake up without that immediate sense of dread. You meet uncertainty without collapsing. You can hold joy without the fear that it's about to be snatched away. You stop waiting for permission to be gentle with yourself. Your work becomes an expression of who you are, not proof of your value. Relationships become mirrors for growth, not tests you have to pass, and silence becomes sacred, not scary. You no longer need to perform worthiness because you embody it. It shows in your posture, in your tone of voice, in your very presence. People can sense it before you even speak a word. Because true worth radiates quietly, it doesn't need to be announced. And when we live this way, we realize something truly holy. Peace was never the reward for self-improvement. Peace is the natural result of self-remembrance. To feel what we already know is to live as women who no longer have to fracture ourselves for love. We become whole in real time. We can cry without losing our dignity. We can succeed without losing our humility. We can rest without losing our value. There's a softness that enters the body when we stop defending our worth. Our movements slow down. Our decisions become more deliberate. We start sensing the sacred in the ordinary, the warmth of water on our hands, the quiet hum of our breath just before we fall asleep. Every small act of self-care becomes communion. Every boundary becomes a prayer of self-respect. Every full exhale becomes an amen. This is what it feels like to live inside your self-worth. It's not an emotion that peaks and fades, but a steady, quiet hum of belonging. A knowing so deeply integrated, it doesn't even need to be spoken. When others forget our value, we don't. When seasons of life shift, our center holds. When fear whispers its old lies, we answer with our breath. That is the quiet power of embodied worth. And please know you are not alone in this. Every woman who remembers her worth becomes a spark for another. Every act of gentleness ripples outward. The collective begins to heal when individuals stop performing for acceptance. We start seeing each other not as competition, but as a reflection. We choose collaboration over comparison, rest over the rush, faith over fear. The world doesn't need more women proving themselves. It needs more women remembering themselves. We remember together that worth is not a variable. It is the constant of our being. And as that remembrance spreads, cultures shift, conversations soften, and love becomes less of a transaction and more of a presence. So let's take a moment to practice this together right now. If you can, close your eyes. Just notice the air moving in and out of your body. Feel the ground or the chair beneath you, that quiet, steady support that asks for nothing in return. Whisper to yourself on the inside, I am safe to feel my worth. If resistance comes up, just breathe a little slower. If doubt speaks, listen to it kindly, without judgment. Tell yourself, I am not here to fix myself. I am here to remember. Let a sense of warmth spread where tension once lived. Let calmness take the place of the need to prove. Let each inhale say, I belong. And let each exhale say, I release the need to earn it. Just stay here for another moment. Let the stillness teach you what all the striving never could. This right here, this quiet is, where knowing finally becomes feeling. So when you forget again, and you will, we all do remember this. The truth of your worth does not vanish just because you can't feel it. It waits patient as your own breath, ready to rise the moment you turn inward. Every pause is a doorway back home. If this resonated with you, I invite you to subscribe and join our community. Each week, we explore these ideas more deeply, offering gentle reminders to help you root into your inherent value. It's not about becoming more. It's about remembering what you've always been. Thank you for being here and for sharing this space.